Just like pretend the camera's not there.
Okay.
So start again, what you were saying.
Yeah, so bike went into limp mode.
Okay.
He
was just riding along, was he? Everything was fine?
Everything was fine. And it just started spluttering a bit and didn't sound quite right.
Okay.
Time to check the oil. The oil was a bit low.
Yeah.
He topped it up, started the bike, and it just was, the EF light was on and it was just in limp mode.
Okay.
So he tickled
the
it.
engine check light came on?
Yeah, engine check light, yeah. And then he just tickled it home.
Okay.
Yeah, we kind of took it to someone. He put it on a dyno tuner.
Okay, we've got a dynograph.
Yeah, and it just... So
that's
the
all
revs,
right, it's coming back to me now, because it's months ago since we talked about this, isn't it? I was asking you what the AFR was doing, wasn't I, on the dyno?
Basically, when you start to accelerate, I mean, you don't even have to go over 30 mile an hour, and it just, as it hits 4,000 RPM, it just jitters like crazy.
Okay.
So he couldn't really sort it out. Someone said throttle sensor.
Okay.
So it was one of those days of replace parts and hope for the best.
So it's had a bit of the parts shotgun, right? So did you put? Am I thinking of the same one? Did you put coils on it? So what's it had on? What's it had for?
Coil packs, plugs, throttle sensor, cam sensor.
Okay.
Now there's no EF light. Doesn't come up with any errors at all.
Okay.
But it won't start.
Won't start at all now.
At all.
Oh fuck. Okay.
Won't start. You can
thought we
smell.
had a misfire problem.
Yeah. You can smell fuel. It's pumping fuel.
Right. Shit. So it's worse than it was.
It's worse. Yeah. It's now dead. It will not start.
Okay. Well,
and
at least
that's where we are.
At least it's not only doing it once every third Tuesday of the fucking month when the wind's going in a certain direction. No, it's actually properly broken.
When I put the throttle sensor in and the voltage was all over the place, the diagnostic said incorrect voltage.
Okay.
And then I read it has to be between 0.4 and 4.4 volts at full throttle.
Yeah.
Adjusted it, got it exactly. 0.4 at idle and 4.4 at full.
The parts you've used, are they genuine Honda?
No.
Right, so they're aftermarket, are they, the bits?
Yeah.
Have you got the old bits?
Yes.
Okay, you've got them with you?
Yes,
perfect.
I brought them with.
Awesome.
The old bits are and
Okay. A mystery.
Put a new battery in as well.
Right.
Because it was a bit old and dodgy.
Okay.
But that's it. It just won't start. Stinks of fuel when you turn it over, when you crank it.
Obviously, but you
absolutely, you can see the fuel fumes popping out.
Okay, fucking hell, it's got a drain pipe on it.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's loud.
Yeah.
Holy smoke. It's run all right with that exhaust on though, right?
Yes.
Has it got the O2 sensor on it still or not?
No.
Right, okay. So you've got an O2 eliminator of you, or has it been done in the ECU?
There's this little bug here.
Yeah, that's it. That's fine.
Yeah,
okay.
Which I think there's two other plugs in there which are just...
Has it been mapped for that pipe? Do you know?
Yes, apparently it has been.
Okay.
Apparently it has been.
Let's get off the trailer then.
Yeah, that's it.
Cool.
Let's get it off.
Fucking hell, the flicker's back. It's really irritating. You'll have to live with it. Check out the gape on that. It's immense. Right. How are we going to skin this? Okay, first thing is looking for clues. The analogy I like to use, I've said this a million times I'm sure, is diagnostic work like this is a bit like, it's a jigsaw, right? You're just getting little pieces and putting it together, trying to make a picture. So, first piece of the puzzle, fuel pump's running. You can hear the fuel pump running. Sounds sort of normal. Next piece of the puzzle. It's cranking, no gallop to it, sounds about normal. I don't know if I'm imagining it, but stinks of fuel. Absolutely reeks of fuel. I think, I don't really know which way to go. And the other thing is when you crank it, well, the engine check light is on as the fuel pump's running, and then it goes out when the fuel pump stops. Pretty sure that's normal. check light doesn't come on when I'm cranking it, which means there's no active codes at this point. I think the sensible thing to do would be to... Fucking hell, you haven't got a microphone on. Can you hear me? Okay. Oh my God. Listen, if you couldn't hear me then... Please. You should be able to hear me better now though. What was I saying? I'm going to scan it for codes. I don't think that's going to particularly enlighten me, but I think it'd be sensible to do that. Plug is under here. Red plug, if my memory serves me correctly. Let's get you a better view. Bolts out. Seat. Oh, all sorts going on under here. It's got a quick shifter on it. Heel Tech one. Did he say? I think he said, didn't he? He'd disconnected the quick shifter. I think that's what he said. Red plug there. It's got something plugged into it. What's going on with that then? Oh, I know what it is. A gear indicator, look. Okay, so it's that plug that we need. And we need an AP20 connection cable, I think. Okay, which is that one. Here's one I prepared earlier, and we have to give the diagnostic doofer power with this connection, annoyingly. Right, okay. Come over here and have a look at the laptop. That's literally going to be one great big reflection, isn't it? I'll do a screen record so you can see it. Right. It's a motorcycle. It's a Honda. It's... oh, it's a new page. Yes, I know how to find the label, thank you. It's a CBR. It's a CBR. Really? I just went past it, did I? Yes. CBR1000RR. 2008 onwards, that one. Petrol injection. Start. It's going to ask for the ignition to be turned on, isn't it? Yes. Okay. Confirm. No fault codes. I don't believe... oh, there we go. Intake air pressure. That's a map sensor code, but it's not active at the moment. In memory. Interesting. Let's remember that code. Let me just... I've had some weirdnesses with Honda codes. Why are you not green? Now you're green. Let me crank it, see what happens. Ah, that's a... Did he say? Actually, he might have said that he'd had a code. Did he have a code because he'd disconnect something when he was working on it, or was that a different bike? But that many different conversations in the last couple of days with different people with different problems. Right. Let's ignore that. Let's just go to parameters. That fuel. Yeah, map sensor's reading okay, isn't it? Look. Is it going to give us an injection pulse width there if I crank it? Did we get something? Yes, we did. 7.5 milliseconds. It's not excessive for a cold start. Okay, where are we going next? We're going to go old school is what we're going to do. You know what I'm going to say, don't you? Okay, so I think you know what I'm going to say, don't you? Just going to get this tank cover off. Get the airbox out of the way, get the tank up, get the airbox off it. I'm going to compression test it first. Well, I want to get the plugs out anyway. It stinks of fuel. The plugs are obviously soaking wet, and that might be what's stopping it from starting. Test fuel pressure maybe. Let's get the plugs out of it. Let's compression test it. Let's just start picking away. Let's get some known good things so we know where we stand, at least with some of it. We need some sort of direction because scanning it for codes isn't helping, is it? I'm also going to, call me crazy, I'm going to refit all the original parts. So there's some coils in here. TPS, cam sensor. Why they put a cam sensor in it, I don't know. Maybe there was a code, he didn't say. I'm going to refit all these old parts, get the plugs out of it, compression test it, perhaps put a fresh set of dry plugs in it. Let's get to that point and then we'll reassess and we'll start to get, with any luck, a little bit of direction. Nice wood screws holding the airbox together. Quality. That's what we like to see. I get the feeling that this bike has been apart quite a few times. Okay. Get that fuel pipe off there. Take fucking 27. I'm struggling, guys. I'm going to waffle. Okay, I warn you, I'm going to waffle. I've already tried doing this 5 times, at least. I'm not doing another take. So, the airbox is off, as you can see, and I've got everything connected back up. So the air temperature sensors out at the bottom of the airbox, that's connected back up. This secondary set of injectors are connected back up, electrically connected. The fuel pipe going to them, I've got my fuel pressure gauge connected to that. So they're electrically connected, but they haven't got a fuel supply to them. At the moment, the plugs are out, and my focus is locked. So you're not going to be able to see these plugs, but you're just going to have to trust me. It's fucking rolling coal. Super black and sooty, and when they initially came out they were a little bit moist, so that might be the reason why it won't actually start. Because remember the conversation with the guy, initially the fault was he was riding along, then all of a sudden it wouldn't rev properly and he was losing power and it was misfiring, and then they put a aftermarket cam position sensor in it, a TPS, got some second-hand coils, or some aftermarket coils rather. Now it won't go at all. So yeah, this is all connected back up because I don't want to create fault codes when I turn the ignition on to do the compression test and fuel pressure and things. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying. I was thinking, this is where I've gone off the rails with the other 5 takes I've tried to fucking do, so just bear with me. I'm on to summit here. My jigsaw analogy, I think, is a good one. I was thinking of this. So when you start doing a jigsaw, you start with the corner pieces, right? Imagine this. That very corner piece up here, that is, I don't know, your fuel pressure on a fuel injected bike. On a carbureted bike, maybe that very corner piece, that's fuel in the float bowl. And then connecting to that very corner piece, you've got things like, I don't know, is there fuel contamination? I've got diesel in the bloody tank. Has it got water contamination? So you can start building pieces. So because we're clueless at this point, we have literally no direction. There are no fault codes. It won't go. We have to start logically piecing this problem together. Okay, so using this diagnostic jigsaw analogy, I think is quite a powerful one. It sets it straight in your head. So we'll check for fuel pressure. Assuming it's got good fuel pressure, we know we have that piece of the puzzle, right? 100% guaranteed. And then the next one might be, has it got a spark? Well, that initial corner piece may be, lay the spark plug on the cylinder head, crank it, have we got a spark? Okay, the pieces connected to that corner piece could be, well, is the spark strong enough? In the compression environment, in the engine, maybe there isn't a spark. We all know that you can have a spark plug spark in atmosphere, but when you put it in the cylinder and you put it in that harsher environment, it doesn't, you know, it won't spark. There are some tests we can do, some real basic tests. You've seen my little spark tester where I vary the gap, right? Give or take about 6 millimeters. If it'll jump about 6 mil out in atmosphere, that's about equivalent for I can't tell you what the voltage is that's required to jump that, but it's about equivalent to an engine trying to start, you know, cranking over with a reasonable compression ratio. So you can start adding pieces, known good, 100% correct. Yes, I've definitely got a spark. Yes, it'll definitely jump a 6, 7, 8 mil gap. You can start building the puzzle in from the corners. The other corner would obviously be compression. So we could do a compression test. Yes, it's got compression. I don't know, the pieces connected to that corner might be, well, we've got compression, but is the valve timing correct? You see where I'm going, okay? And then the other corner, I've been thinking about this because you can't have a fucking jigsaw with well, you could have a triangle jigsaw, I suppose. But there is an important thing which often gets overlooked. And I've banged on about this over and over again. You have to be able to replicate the fault. Reliably replicate the fault. If you can't, you're going to find it really difficult to fix it. In this scenario, I mean, it won't fucking go. So we've got a fairly replicatable fault at this point. Okay, did that make sense? Oh, and then the other part of this, the pieces that might join that, I'm going to stop waffling, I promise, in a second. The pieces that join that replicatable fault piece of the jigsaw, you've got to have good service information. There's no good wading in and then thinking, oh, I haven't got a wiring diagram for this, or the wiring diagram I've got, the wires are different colours, and get the right service manual. Do your legwork before you even get your spanners out. You save yourself a crap ton of time in the long run. Right, so we're going to start filling in these bits of the jigsaw and building the puzzle. First thing, fuel pressure. Oh, and the other thing, fucking hell, stop talking. I've got kids arriving, stand by. I don't know why I always manage to film when the kids are due home from school. Anyway, what I was going to say was, diagnostic work, I've talked about this, I know I have. You've got to have a good battery supply. So I've got my, what do they call it? A blue smart charger. It's the best kept secret, this thing, obviously. I've talked about it before. It's also a power supply. And there's a Bluetooth app, and you can set basically it'll hold the battery at a particular voltage. Probably wouldn't work that well for cars because they've got too much of a current pull, perhaps, with ignition on. But for motorbikes, it's bloody amazing. So I've got my power supply hooked up to the battery, so it's holding it at 13 volts. So that isn't going to be an issue. Right, fuel pressure. Okay, there's my gauge. I confess, I've already tested this. We have got, it's going to be, well, not the camera, it's going to be out of focus because we've got exactly 50 psi of fuel pressure, which I know is correct because I've looked in the workshop manual. That is the piece of the puzzle. That piece locked in. We know it's got fuel pressure. We don't know whether it's got fuel contamination or whether it's got fucking diesel in it or God knows what, but that piece can stay. Fucking wearing out this jigsaw analogy, I know I am, but what happens, you know, we've got other coils, right? And we've got another cam sensor and we've got another TPS. What this part shotgun approach, people are buying pieces of the jigsaw that they think are known good, and they're not necessarily known good. I've had it on this channel and just, you know, jobs you've seen me do. You buy a new part, the bloody VMAX springs to mind when I got that ECU. Do you remember all that drama? You think because you've got a new part that it's perfect. Not always. That's why being able to measure this stuff and accurately tell and diagnose whether it's correct or not is really the only way to do it. You can just fucking keep buying parts until it runs, of course, but if you're doing it commercially and the customer's paying you, why should they have to fucking pay because you haven't got the knowledge? I just think that's wrong. Waffle. So we got that piece of the puzzle locked in. Next thing, I'm going to do a compression test. Let's know it's got compression. Let's know it's got compression. That doesn't sound right. Fuck. Right, compression test. Got a top tip for you. While we're talking about turning the ignition on and measuring fuel pressure. Did you know, you might not know, but you're going to know in a second. When I turn the ignition on, listen. Fuel pump primes, right? If you've got an injector disconnected, I'm going to set a fault code, but it doesn't matter. Turn the ignition on. No fuel pump. That could confuse you. Okay, you'd be like, why is the fucking fuel pump not running? It's because the ECU thinks there's an injector problem, either an open or a short. Imagine if this injector was shorted or the driver was shorted, or the ground side switched. Imagine the wiring loom was shorted out and this injector was on open all the time and you kept priming the fuel pump. You'd just be spraying raw fuel down into the engine. You could hydrolock it. You understand. So the ECU immediately shuts the pump off if it senses an injector problem. Did you know that? You do now. Right, compression test. Right, compression test. We'll go with the easiest one first, number 4. Can you see that there? Take that out of there. Wide open throttle. Contact. Well, still going. Over 150. I'm not going to try and get the maximum number. There's no point. Right, cylinder number 3. What the fuck, guys? Holy smoke. 90 psi. Fuck. Did you notice something too? As I was... Watch this little cover, right? Did you notice as I was doing this one? Watch it. See it moving? I wonder if it's got leaky inlet valves. Fucking hell. Oh God. This isn't the video I thought I was making. There is no point in going round and round in fucking circles trying to make something run properly if it's got less than 100 psi of compression. Make sure I get that in there properly. Contact. That one's better. Not fucking great though, is it? Slowly going up. So 125. Just out of interest, what is the actual spec in the book? That one's alright. I looked at the spec in the book. 174 psi. They're low, aren't they? That one is you know, enough to run, we're going to be in this weird scenario where, you know, the way the guide is described the fault, it's not low compression, you know what I mean? It would idle all right, but it wouldn't rev. That's not a low compression problem. I think what we've probably got here is a very, very, very fucking tired motorbike on its last legs that then developed a fault. It begs the question, should you bother trying to repair this, whatever this fault is? Right, number one. Oh God. Surely not. I must have a leak. I must have a leak from this. Is that going to focus on there? Come on now. You know about this stuff, don't you? I've talked about this so many flipping times. Great in this sort of instance where you're like, oh, fucking hell. Has that got a leak? This will really help seal it up without having to use an actual sealer. Contact. Actually, let's get you the gauge so you can witness this. Focus on there. Oh fuck. It's dead, guys. Holy fuck. What have I told you about doing compression tests? Fucking hell. My jigsaw analogy, I'm all excited now. Not for the poor owner, but pieces of this jigsaw. You've got to get the corners in position. How many fucking people would have gone around the houses and chased their tail for days? Although, hang on. Hold your horses, Jim. I think you're getting a little bit excited. I think the original... Okay, what to say? I think the original fault that this bike had was not low compression related. I think something went on with it that caused the misfire, and it's all sort of unravelled from there. I'm really tempted to continue the diagnostic process, just fill in a bit more of this jigsaw. So let's see if we've got a spark. Let's put a new set of plugs in it. Let's see if we can get it to fire. What am I going to do next? I'm going to leak down test it. Let's do a leak down test. We haven't done a leak down test for forever. Let's see if we can find out whether it's rings, inlet or exhaust valves. And then let's get a Borescope in there and have a butcher's. Let's concentrate on the shittest cylinder. So 1 and 3 are quite bad. Let's concentrate on number 1. Let's leak down test that. I won't do all of them because it's sort of irrelevant at this point. Let's leak down test number 1. Try and determine where it's leaking from, and then have a look with a Borescope. So I was just setting up the leak down tester, and I thought, well, I was trying to get top dead center, or, you know, get on the compression stroke for the leak down test. There's a little inspection cap on the end of the crankshaft that you undo, and then you put your ratchet on there and you can turn the crank. And I was just using my Borescope to make sure I was on compression stroke, if that makes sense. Look what I've discovered already. I'll share it with you. I'll do a recording. If I can get in the same position. Look at the state of this valve face. Fucking hell. I'll put a arrow on the screen so you know what I'm looking at. Get it so it exposes it properly. How do I do that? Change the light maybe a bit. just a wee bit too close to focus, isn't he? Annoyingly. Fucking hell, that valve seat looks absolutely fucked. That's dark, that's super bright. Oh dear. Let's go in through the... That's the exhaust. No, it can't be. That's the other inlet. What am I talking about? So it doesn't look so bad, does it? From this direction. Let's try and go down the other port so we can get a better angle on that valve. Yeah, that seat looks pretty manky on that inlet valve, doesn't it? Let's just... Yeah, let's go down the spark plug hole and look back up at the valves. What I don't want to do is get that grease all over the camera lens. Oh god, there's some on the side there, look. Because it will just... be able to fucking see anything. Steer it away from the side of the... Oh, there's a good look at the valve seats there, like, oh god. It's fairly fucking horrible, doesn't it? What we need to do is get that piston. So that's the induction stroke, right? Let's get in there now. Just have a quick gander at this cylinder wall. Still pretty cross-hatchy, isn't it? We've got enough room to look back on ourselves. Yes, there we go, look. So there's the Borescope coming in. Try and look at that valve seat. Okay. That seat looks horrible, doesn't it? What is that there? That looks really bad. Okay, let's try and position it so we can look at exhaust. Let's not come all the way out. Let's go to there. We should be able to see the exhaust valves open. So that's the inlet stroke. Inlet valve shutting. So that's induction. This is compression. Power stroke. Should start to see an exhaust valve at the bottom of the stroke here. Exhaust valves, there we go, look, there's the exhaust valves. Right, let's go in and try and look back on it ourselves. Easier said than done, there's not a lot of room. Here we go. Uh-oh. You getting that, guys? Look at that exhaust valve seat. Oh dear. Fucking hell, it's like the surface of the moon. I think at this point, I'm not even going to do a leak down. It's going to be leaking from the inlet and the exhausts valves. Oh dear. Out we come. Got Shmoo on there. Managed to survive quite well, I think. Oh guys, I think this is the end of the video. Not what I was expecting. Let me speak to the guy and let's see where we go next. You know, I could put some plugs in it and carry on with a bit more diagnostic work. It will run on those sort of compressions, but not very well. There's no point. I was thinking, oh, maybe I should get the cam cover off and do the valve clearances, but there's fucking looking at the exhaust valve seats and the face of the valves, there's no point. This engine needs pulling apart, and at least the head going through. Well, it wants rings as well, there's no point. You wouldn't bother just doing the head. It's got 40,000 mile on it. Did you learn anything? You've got to get the corners of that jigsaw in position, haven't you? Compression, super important. Right, I'm about to be interrupted, so I'm going to call time. Thanks guys, I love you all. Take care. Oh, like and subscribe, you miserable bastards. Half of you haven't. Bye.